Okay, cool.
Yeah. But Ivan
Yeah.
Tony came on, and he took the third one, I think. The naps. It was weirdly non-stressful today.
I mean, it was boring for the first half. Admittedly, when you were watching the game, it was like, is this going to be the same thing that happened last time? It's going to score like 2 goals right at the end. Just wait a bit then.
The whole tournament's been that way.
Yeah, yes, that's true. But like Switzerland scored, and
It's
afterwards, okay, all right, okay, finally something's happening. Then England scored instantly, and like, oh wait, we'll go like get a goal in, or before we throw away our Lindt chocolates. It's like just like I didn't expect it to be like to play out like that, but I was like, okay.
And naturally, I've got to go to work when the tournament gets to its last bit. I know. If England's game was on Thursday, I wouldn't have no problems because I'm off Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But they're playing Wednesday night, and I've got to be in bed at 9, and they kick off at 8. I'm like, oh, fucking bastards.
When is the final? Is it this Wednesday?
The final's on Sunday next week.
Oh, okay. I thought so. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's Netherlands versus England for the final.
The semi-final.
Semi-final, yeah.
Yeah, the other game is France and Spain.
Well, that's...
Alex's favourite country.
I love Spain.
France.
Oh, fuck France.
Look. Can we agree? If the Netherlands win, we could finally get weed into the UK. Just for the sake of it,
No, I'll be too upset.
I like the implication that there's no weed in the UK at all.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Legally.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you can bring it in if you want. I don't touch the stuff anyway.
Oh no, like.
Oh fuck! This one's got a cork.
Because I have a problem with proper air clogging up my lungs, let alone a bunch of leaves.
I mean, I don't quite agree with that. It's kind of like saying, I have a problem with water. I can't deal with tea because of the fucking leaves. I don't know. I don't think that sounds correct. It's logically, well, physically, it doesn't sound correct. But in any case,
yeah.
So, wait, let's see.
Hello, Ben.
Yeah.
Yes. It is.
I'm ready to go.
Yeah, but the main problem is Rob ready to go, or is Rob here, or is I thought.
Oh, I'm not sure if Rob will actually be here legitimately.
Waiting for Emmanuel and any of the others turning up.
I don't know. I don't know if Corey is. She hasn't said anything at the moment. And I'm not sure at all about Camilla. But we shall see.
I mean, they're with their others. The others, or the significant others, is what I'm meant to say. Yeah, so I mean, like, if we see Emmanuel eventually, she'll probably be there. But it's just like, will they be in different offices or not?
Oh. Okay, Ben. Wait, is Ben there?
Yes, Ben is there.
Oh, Ben.
He's muted for a minute. He's muted.
Oh.
But I can't see Alec. Does he exist?
I am omnipresent.
He is the invisible man.
Like Jesus or Santa Claus. I would like to.
So you're saying Alec is fairy tale?
Yeah, like a nasty one.
Oh god.
Where everyone winds up with bed bugs and hemorrhoids.
Oh, I've had hemorrhoids. It's not
German
fun.
ones. I have. Oh, yeah. Well, I just had a healthy shit for like the first time in my adult life. Big
Oh,
day.
wow. Did you go 10 o'clock at the dot?
Yeah, it's pretty great. But it was actually all just in. It was. I'm really glad Corey's not here yet. Anyway, Ben, I want to draw your attention to the thing that I posted in the chat.
Oh, cool. You did the proper scoring.
Yeah, proper stuff.
Oh, and Hashi is second from the bottom.
Yeah, I wanted to just sort of like compare the positives with the negative, just with all the other ones.
Oh, Ruri Kenshin has got the worst, I'm afraid.
That's fine.
Rurouni Kenshin's definitely got the worst. But if you notice, Hachi didn't get that many positives.
Yeah, it's kind of very middle of the road there, actually. It's really kind of like almost half and half, really.
Okay, so my new story score for Hachi is 6 out of 10. So we can stop with the meme now.
Simon, what do you think of that? Alec doesn't like Hashi as much as he said he did.
I never fucking said I liked it.
Yeah. It's the same thing. He said it was very vanilla. Oh, plain, I guess.
To be gave it a 10.
Painfully vanilla. That doesn't mean I fucking like it.
Oh yeah, no. It's the thing for what I understood what Alec meant by it. It's like it's because it's very bare and basic.
Yeah.
Of course, the score is not going to change. It's going to be bare and basic. But that's not. I don't know if that was a good thing or a bad thing. In this case, it's like it's a mildly okay thing, and that's. I was like, okay, fine, that's fine.
Yeah, and it's a mildly okay film.
I still fucking hate it, but
that's
59 feels more fair than.
Yeah, I mean, like, so that's the problem. It's like, oh, it's mildly good. So you don't care for it that much, which is fine.
There wasn't much going against it, but it also wasn't doing a lot.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah. Cool.
So there we go. The meme can die.
That's good.
Nah.
That's fair enough.
Ow.
At least Hashi finally reflects your true feelings.
Yeah.
This is the fucking killing
But yeah, I was
joke.
getting concerned with the scoring system, so I was like, oh man.
Do you think you're going to do say an old deep cut like the
Podcast
forwards?
got 47, Maverick got 38, even Rurouni Kenshin got 38. I was like, is this too easy? And then I went, no.
But do you think you'll do the Fall or the Great Showman?
And all of them. I've got a little randomizer, so I've got your next film in, like it's got a little placeholder.
You're next.
And then I've got Ex Machina, and then I did the randomizer, and I've got The Big Lebowski. So we'll see how that goes.
I'm interested to see how well something like Tokyo Ghoul Police does.
Oh, what am I
Oh,
doing? With
yeah, I
that?
forgot about that. Like,
No, we're just doing films. Just films we're doing.
And not like
So Tokyo Ghoul Police and Antichrist are not part of it.
Oh, Antichrist will be on it.
Sorry.
No, you're not. Don't fucking lie.
Okay, I'm not.
Anti-shite.
Well, that'd mean that it's good when it's not.
Oh, you mean
yeah, true,
I suppose you're right. If it is
Yeah,
anti-shite, it's actually quite anti-shite.
Quite good, yeah.
It's good in a way.
I found like a bunch of YouTubers who I find it really, really weird because they keep referencing stuff and they keep going like, oh yeah, Chaos Reigns, and I'm like, hang on a fucking minute, and they're like, yeah, it's Antichrist. Yeah, I didn't think I'd ever hear anyone reference Antichrist ever.
Well, I was watching a video once, and they said Chaos Reigns. I looked up and exited out of the video. I was like, well, I don't need any more of this.
Damn.
Yeah, raining on Pat's parade. That.
Well, because like, I don't want to be solely focusing on the game that I'm playing, so I'll have like something playing in the background. And yeah, whatever. I can't even remember who the video was. But I was like, yeah, enough of this before they start referencing something else from that film.
Do you do it with our streams as well? You just see that Ben just says it. You go like, no,
Nah,
okay,
nah.
goodbye.
You guys are the only ones that survive.
Oh. Right, so we're just waiting on
Manuel.
Emmanuel. I take it Camilla's gonna not be committing that much. She's gonna be in the background.
We'll
And
never know.
Will Corey be joining us?
I'm still trying to find out. She's a bit like not sure yet.
Will Mike be joining us? The mysterious Mike?
No, he's got to take care of the kids.
Will Celine be joining us?
She's downstairs watching Law and Order.
Oh,
Well, which one?
SVU,
Okay.
SVU. There's.
Special Victims Unit.
Yeah.
Oh right.
It's the best one.
Yes.
Law and Order.
Hey,
Oh,
we're going on Skype today. That's why I didn't appear.
oh.
Yeah, Rob said he was able to
wait.
sort out the video, so we just decided to come here. That's what she said.
Yeah,
Okay.
because Rob was home. He just like pressed to like record or like literally turned it on and just went.
Sorry. How long y'all been How long y'all been here already? Like doing stuff?
About 3.5 hours.
hours and hours.
No, not long at all.
This is about 15-20 minutes.
Yeah.
I've been standing in the rain going, where is he? I didn't think about this.
Were you holding a boombox?
Yeah, just for fun.
Yes.
It wasn't playing anything.
Oh, you need to play something.
One moment.
Oh, Emmanuel's like, fuck this.
Oh no, where? I've got to go back out in the rain again. You know that post on Twitter that was like, Superman is not meant to coddle your feelings. And I went, this has an ambulance, it's not your taxi to the hospital vibes.
I laugh at that. I meant to tell you that it was funny, but I did laugh at that.
he just responded and went, what?
And
This is Alec, and this is everyone that he's arguing with on Twitter.
Playing them like
Oh.
a fucking fiddle.
There's so many idiots on there.
Mm.
Most of them are with the reform.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of
Yeah,
which,
my
have
internet is
I been clapped back at today?
even more.
Wondering if there's any reform bitches clapping back at me because I was being a bit of a dick to him the last 24 hours or so.
Oh, that's good.
What horny reform bitches are in your area?
Sorry, this is what you said then.
Corey won't be impressed with that.
Oh god.
I'll sit. Oh, sorry.
Whew.
That was a little funny, but moving on.
This one's I saw before. I think no.
This one, so that's how you transfer it. And then if
That's nice.
if you want to display it, you just flip that backwards.
That's
All right.
And you can see your commander.
So,
Lovely. Actually, that's
Hello,
really
Corey.
nice, actually.
Yeah,
I like that.
I really like it, man. I got them reading.
All
Hey, sorry, I'll be in with you guys soon.
Oh, okay. I thought I was muted. Okay, either way.
That was deliciously awkward.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's good.
Okay, in any case, are we still just waiting for Rob to press record on his OBS?
Is this
Oh, Camilla's here. Sweet.
No, it was here last time.
I think isn't he recording as he
I really like it.
began or what? Because he said he was going to edit it
By the way,
later.
the fact that you moved your desk.
No.
Because I don't
He said he
like
doesn't
writing,
want
I wasn't
to
expecting
edit it later.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, 'cause-
right.
yeah. 'Cause
That was a very crucial word, Instant.
Yeah.
Oh, is it? Okay, fair enough. So we have to wait another couple of hours for him to turn up.
Do you not get
Yeah.
Claire?
No,
Oh, you got
really,
good
'cause
curtains, yeah?
because what
As
I do
we
is just,
do,
like,
we
I
go.
feel like
upwards,
Mm.
and then the
Oh,
light kind of
okay, yeah, you're right.
yeah.
Fair enough.
So it works pretty well.
Yeah?
You feel like
She's falling asleep.
Roberto, are we
Yeah.
recording?
I was about to message as well.
I can't see why we wouldn't be.
I'm waiting for that reply back where he goes, "We're already recording you, but it's."
This is where he has to edit me out saying nonce.
Yeah,
Well-
yeah, he always does that. He always goes through the fine tooth comb to find all the ones times.
Oh, imagine that would
I mean-
like delayed every call for about a week.
It's just a shame that he stopped the call on the Planet of the Apes one before Rachel's pick, because now we can't find my meme where I'm gone. Where I was surprised at the pick that she picked, because I was adamant she was picking something else.
Yes.
Oh, what was you going to pick? What was you saying?
I thought it was going to be Mamma Mia.
Yeah, same here.
Oh, right.
You draw. Sorry,
Yeah.
carry on, you're talking.
That's
Oh,
definitely
thank
what she was
goodness.
going for. That's what she wanted everybody to think for sure.
And then she pulls the rug from under me.
Yeah.
Maybe one day. Mamma
I'll
Mia
have to-
will make its
I'll have to
return.
pick it. Fine.
Start somewhere.
You're under no obligation to.
Show me something you draw.
Oh no, I made a promise to Rachel.
We could go our whole lives without ever watching it, if you wanted.
Nah, that's alright.
That might do a double bill and do Mamma Mia and Mamma Mia. Here we go again.
I've not actually seen that one yet.
Even more of a risk.
Alright, big time.
Nah, I've got something completely different for my next pick.
Yeah, Alex is gonna love it.
More Days of Thunder and less other stuff.
I'm sure.
Okay,
that
I cannot see any indication.
Oh, about Rob.
I'm looking for like a little button or something, or a little red light with some numbers next to it, but I can't see shit.
I mean, unless you guys really want to push it to like Skype to do the recording.
Hold on, let me have a look.
Yeah, that's the only way I know how to do it, because unless I download an app to do screen record.
No, because he has. Oh, actually, I'm not quite sure if OBS is like an equipment thing or a program thing. I think it's more of an equipment thing.
Maybe my computer does it.
It's a program thing. Oh, okay.
I don't want to interrupt it. He's in the middle of something.
Oh, I don't know my Fiverr.
So on one hand, we could do the whole thing without it being recorded, or we could move to Skype and record that, and Rob just has a recording of this, which I think would be really funny. But
I mean, it could work.
I suppose we could do both, because that way there's an assurance of like both being recorded.
Yeah, but it's gonna throw my goddamn Wi-Fi. And
Actually, oh yeah, Simon's Wi-Fi won't survive.
Yeah, it's gonna. I mean,
What is it worse on Skype then?
no, I mean, no, because you said you want to keep both open, or is that what you just said?
Oh, I mean, I suppose we could just close this one and then do the Skype. If we did,
I feel like it's better to do a call and definitely have a recording, and Rob has a recording of nothing, than not having a recording at all.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So actually, we
I'm gonna host a meeting, and I'm gonna copy that in.
Yeah, we can post it in the thing for like, and I'll post it to Corey if she wants to join.
Yeah, and I'll send it to Emmanuel so he can.
Yeah. Because as usual, Rob wasn't clear.
Oh,
That's so
Don't say-
bitchy.
don't say it like that. It's gonna be up.
that's it's a low blow, Mr. Kim.
Wow.
I'm just certain he's not recording now. That's definitely for sure.
It's not for sure, but we don't know if he is or isn't.
Oh, that's the problem. It's like with Skype or Facebook video or any other app that does recording, you can tell when someone is doing record button because it was all implemented in the app. Discord stupidly does not have that function. So we're like, we don't know.
I don't know.
So yeah, it's almost like Pat foresaw that Discord was inferior.
Yeah, it's true. I told you guys.
At least for this part of the things.
Wrong.
Okay.
I'm basically the Trump of Discord.
Oh god.
Ugh.
You know what? That's not the best title, is it?
Nah, definitely not.
Okay.
I'm installing
Hmm?
Skype, so
Okay, cool. Right. Well, I can't start it unless I come out of here. So, see you all in there.
Yeah. See you next week, Alec. Bye. Right, here we go, guys. I'm joking.
I'll be over when I remember my password.
yeah, I haven't signed into Skype in a hot minute.
Password.
I'd probably be able to do both at once.
I mean, it's like I was gonna try, but like I was gonna have to sign into Skype as well. Wait a second.
Depends if your computer can handle it.
You can see me just go. Yeah, so I was gonna talk about. Just yeah. Wait a second.
Forgotten password. Fuck.
Aw,
Oh. Bloody Skype being a knobhead.
oh, I was automatically signed in. Weird.
I usually am automatically signed in, but it's decided it wants to be an unhelpful piece of junk today.
I thought you were gonna say non.
That's all went in my head, not gonna lie.
Yeah, I'm on Skype right now. It's working. But Alec is not.
Right. So yeah, as I was saying, I can't turn on my Skype camera without disconnecting my Discord camera first. So that's probably why. Okay, so that explains a lot. So I can't do both technically.
Yeah, I think I can't. It looks like I'm gonna leave this call and I'm gonna try join in Skype.
Yeah,
I'll be there in a bit.
Yeah. Oh, it was a practice just to see if we could.
Let me try it. Be right back, Pat.
I'll see you in there.
Yeah. No, I mean,
Oh, what?
That's the thing I love about Commander, because it's like 100 single cards. Like could play somebody who's got like 3 ridiculous cards and they draw none of them. So
Yeah,
it's like,
so it just
yeah,
doesn't
it's
matter,
like,
yeah.
like if you draw one, good for you.
Yeah.
Like, it's
I get you completely.
yeah. Oh, you sure you don't want to join? It is a 3-player format.
As long as we're not at this wedding, it's fine.
But you both what? I've already done that. That's okay, get it. Shh. What colour would you like to be?
What of dice or of deck?
Either.
I don't know.
What's your favourite colour?
I'm a gooner.
You're a gooner.
I'm a gooner.
Oh, no red.
Red all day, every day.
Oh god, yeah, you're a red colour.
Not on purpose. That's just because I'm a bad man.
These two is life counts.
I still need to buy this stuff.
You get them in pre-release ones.
Yeah. Might get
Yeah, I think I might.
Marriage, we're here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna invite myself. Might come.
Yeah, do it, man. It's the end of the month.
Oh
27th or something like that.
shit.
I'm not recording yet. I said that with basically any day that ever gets said. Yeah, Isabel. Yes, you're right. That's a date.
I swear I just took 2 dice out. No, leave that in. Oh, yes, please.
Is that okay?
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah. Please don't forget. 2d6 to see who's going first. Ooh, strong.
That's strong.
Yeah.
Not against my squad.
Ooh.
I can try.
Nice.
I won.
Yeah.
I win again. I just won my first game of Magic actually.
Did you? Oh, I won my first game the other day.
Did you?
I did, yeah.
Commander.
Yeah.
That's how many people.
1.
1-1.
Yeah.
My mate was like, oh, so I played him on Star Table, not effectively. Are we playing on this?
Yeah.
Like this way?
Yeah, yeah. It's probably like the best way to get
That's it.
things together.
I mean, he annihilated me. It was like, I'll use my weakest deck. And I was like, cool. And it was a joke, right? And I was like, okay, I made a big mistake. But it was the first time I played with the deck, so I didn't really know what I was doing. Well, he was like, okay, 1v1 doesn't really make sense. I was like, yeah, but like, it's still fun.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
he's like, yeah, but like, he got a really good start. I got a really bad start. And he said, if you were playing like 4 people, they would have slowed me down, and you kind of sit there and get to ramp a bit. And I was like, okay, I kind of get it. But I don't 1v1 games. It's like, there's one thing called like draft or standard even, like,
We should
or
look
modern.
we should look into Canadian Highlander
Yeah,
because it's kind of like it's a 1v1 variant of Commander.
yeah.
So like I would like to see how it
Do
is.
your shops have ever doing more of it, right?
Yeah,
Or they were planning to.
they do it once a month.
Oh, they do it now.
Yeah, so their rotation at the moment is a draft of whatever the current set is,
Mm-hmm.
then Pauper, then Canadian Highlander, and then I can't remember what else.
So they never like will do a standard now.
Nah, no, they don't do that much as well. Yeah, it's because I guess it's just because like
People just don't play it.
it's hard to keep up with it because you're sort of like constantly in rotation. But now that Foundations is coming out, maybe that'll change.
Yeah.
Which deck do you want?
Pick whichever you think I'll have most fun with. I like black.
Oh, the Jishiro one.
Well, sure.
Yeah,
Like,
go for it.
I
Oh,
find-
as in black as a colour.
I quite have like, oh yeah, I think I've been kind of on Arena, like being drawn to that a bit. I quite like the kind of balance of
Yeah,
like.
do you know what? That's the only colour I don't have in.
You don't have a down.
Yeah.
Oh really?
So I'm building one at the moment with D&D cards just because I had so many black cards. I thought you said I need to judge. Oh, sorry.
I'm okay, thank you.
Yeah. But with the D&D cards, there's a really interesting mechanic where you can have like a monocolour commander, but you can put a background in Charm Light type colours to it. So I've got a black and green deck that I'm putting together
That's hilarious. That's actually fucking hilarious.
Back, motherfuckers.
Okay, we're back.
We're back. We're going to start the film discussion shortly. I think, yeah, actually, Camilla's profile picture is very apt there, isn't it?
What? Come on, It's it's like Rob will still have to edit this no matter what.
No. This is all staying in.
Thanks.
Cool. Right. So, shall we get started?
Yeah,
Yes.
Patrick.
Pat, why did your mum pick Ghost?
So
It sounded like an
obviously,
insult, but it was a genuine question.
so when the idea came about, I was like, okay, who am I going to ask? I was tempted to ask former members. I was like, oh, that might be. I might end up having to pick something I don't want to pick. So I was like, okay, I'll ask my mum what her favourite film was. And I was like, she was like, oh, Ghost is my favourite, but I can't watch it because it makes me cry too much. I was like, have you got any others? I was trying so hard and I was like, give me a list of 10. And she gave me a list of 10 and she's like, you should still pick Ghost. It's like, oh, I don't really want to. But okay, I'll pick that. But so, fast forward to when I actually watched it and I ended up enjoying it this time. Who would have known? Considering I spent the time moaning about it. But yeah, like, it's one of my mum's favourite films. But it upsets her so much that she can't really watch it anymore.
Well, I'm very
not
glad
re-
that she forced you to pick it.
It's not as sad as she makes out, but you know there are sad elements to it. I laughed more than anything else, but that's but this is coming from the same person that found The Exorcist really funny. So
Yeah. That's, well, let's not put Corey off you this soon. But it's wild.
yeah, I just find everything somewhat funny.
Well, I laughed a lot at this one too, so it's all good.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, there was
Just
some.
like he
like-
died and you're
What I
going,
would
"Ah!"
say, Pat,
What's up, Manuel?
what I would say. One moment. Be back. What I would say is that you don't necessarily laugh at everything. I mean, there's
No.
some of my picks I'm sure you definitely haven't laughed at.
I mean, if there's a scene that's really funny, I'm gonna laugh. Like I'm not there. I'm probably the easiest amused person in this chat, or anyone
That's
that's
true.
been part of Film Club. I'm very easily amused.
No one's
Like,
gonna
I'm like a kitten that's got a ball of wool. Like, but it happened to be a lot of the scenes that Whoopi Goldberg was in that really made me go. But we'll get into that later in the call. Up on to you guys. What's
Very
your
well.
opening statements?
Okay, we're having a fucking Mexican standoff. Fine. I really liked this. I knew the scene. Obviously, I knew the iconic. We'll call it the raw dogging scene. But
Before you go on that, right? I hadn't seen it in a long time, right? And the way you were talking about it was like the first half an hour was like softcore porn, and I was like, this is fucking nothing.
Yeah, I was exactly. I was confused as well. I was like, wait, I was expecting like Eyes Wide Shut kind of
No,
Yeah.
level or
right.
something.
Yeah,
The reason
That's not fun.
the reason that you're all having this level of sort of like just, I don't want to say discord, but the reason you're having like this kind of like level of confusion here is all Emmanuel's fault. Emmanuel keeps picking these fucking depraved, nasty, horrible films, and everyone's like, "Oh, here we go. There's some hardcore fucking going on." And I'm like, no. This is very pure. This is very loving. This is very like just tender '90s fucking. Like this is, you know, it's all above board. It's fine.
Ah,
Yeah,
dear.
definitely. We have been desensitized by Emmanuel's films. That's for sure.
It's all Emmanuel's film.
yeah. If it's got some
My
like
fault.
gravity in
I mean,
it.
I can't say anything.
Well,
What do you
but-
mean
Some
your
are-
fault? Question mark. Yes,
some-
your fault.
Some of them are Alec films.
Yeah, but it's like 90%
The Lighthouse?
of Manuel's films.
What? The lighthouse had.
specific-
Hey, hang on. The lighthouse had light wanking in. That's
Yeah.
nowhere near on the level.
That's much heavier than what my film or my mum's film was.
I was concerned enough not to watch that film.
What a sentence! What a wonderful sentence that was.
Ah, dear
Beyond
me.
was low.
Anyway, continue.
Anyway, I was really impressed with this. I didn't think I was going to like it that much, and yeah, I was because I was also aware of Patrick Swayze's reputation as a handsome teenage heartthrob, and I was like, with that face, but yeah, I really got on with this. I don't think like you get this kind of movie nowadays where it's just kind of like a really cool premise and it just sort of plays out. I think it's just like, well, where's the sequel? And it's like, there's no sequel to Ghost. Ghost is like completely self-contained, perfectly fine. You don't need to go anywhere else with it. We sort of explored all avenues. Like, yeah, it's just fine as it is. And yeah, I just kind of missed that because if you know, as soon as I became aware of Patrick Swayze is a ghost and he's got a team up with Whoopi Goldberg to stop his wife or his fiance getting murdered by the people who killed him, I was like, fucking right on, let's do it. And it just kind of played it out, and I came away going, yeah, that was what I expected from that, and that was pretty fucking good. So yeah, that's obviously there's problems because I was looking out for some problems, but yeah, they did pretty well. Not so bad.
I'm happy enough.
Somebody else.
It good.
Amazing, lovely.
I kind of like wasn't expecting to be all that into it, just because it's one of those films that had this like kind of like very vague reputation for me. I wasn't sure if I was gonna it'll be my thing or something. It's gonna be too soppy or sentimental or whatever. But it kind of like it had more going for it than I thought it'd be. But at the same time, it didn't affect me emotionally that I thought it would. So it's a double-edged sword. I thought it was a really good film with a really good plot and story and concept. I think it was really like across the board was just like really well written and characters are really likable and engaging and everything. But it didn't quite have enough for me to kind of like get emotionally wrapped up in it, like Rob said earlier. Something was lacking in that respect, at least in my viewing. But it did what I expected. It did the job well enough that I kind of like, yeah, I think it's worthy of like the love people have for it. But I won't say it was kind of like the emotional wreck of a film that people will see and then they're just like bawling their eyes out. It was nice, but I don't think it's like that level, like not like the first 10 minutes of Up level sad. That's what I was expecting it to be for the ending.
I really thought you were going to reference Swan Song, seeing as how it was the most recent.
Yeah, true, and that's another one. But I think Swan Song, I think because it was more credibly realistic, it kind of worked for me better. And Ghost kind of had the supernatural elements that I usually would like, but I think it was because it was so supernatural. It distanced it.
I mean, you don't know it's not plausible until you die, really.
Yeah, true. And that's the thing about this film. It was a lot funnier than I thought, and it had a lot of darker moments than I thought as well. Like the whole every scene with Whoopi Goldberg was just like wonderful, and she's just a wonderful character that was just like I was just smiling from every time she was on scene. Kind of like what Pat said, she was just like the MVP of the film. But it has these dark moments where you can see like what happens to people, for bad people when they die, and they literally just get swept away by demons. Basically, the Grim Reaper times 10 just literally swipes them away and takes them to hell. There's a very dark implication there, I thought, and it's like, wow, this is messed up. And so he's kind of like basically the guy who killed him gets kind of like he leads him to his death in a way, Mr. Wheat. But so it's a film that kind of has a lot of the tonality is quite up and down in terms of like it's a rom-com, it's kind of a drama, it's more of a thriller, it's a proper romantic drama, and then it goes into proper romantic comedy. So it's kind of ebbing and flowing in terms of like tone and style, which in some ways I can see why it has a wide appeal, because it has this construct that kind of makes it appeal to a wide audience, that men, women, and kids will love it, which makes it quite a very clever story. But at the same time, I'd have liked it a bit more like maybe not more so serious, but or at least kind of make sure you kind of like, if you wanted, I think if the emotional beats landed for me better, I think if it was a more serious film. So it is, again, like I said, it's a double-edged sword for me. I wanted it to be a more serious film that had a more emotional depth. However, if you did that, you'd lose Whoopi Goldberg's kind of like funny bone to it all, which it kind of does need at the same time. So it is a film of two halves, in my opinion. But I can see why people of Pat's mom's generation just kind of like were swept up by this one, because it ticks all the boxes and it does everything very well. Yeah, my 2 cents.
Oh, well, you've driven Simon to drink. So, doing all right.
Sorry, what?
I said it looks like we've driven you to drink. Just your big white can.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah, that white can. Yeah.
It's just water.
Oh, it's Liquid Death.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So, to steal Ben's catchphrase, yeah, good. It's
He's already done it. You can't do it again. He's already done it.
But I mean, it's got that cheesiness that you have in a lot of 90s films, with the certain the way that the comedy like matches with like the more romantic drama bits. And I think, yeah, that makes it a good. I see why you said he was a bit like what did you call him? A plastic Lego man, Patrick Swayze.
A rubber-faced Lego man. No one knew what I meant by that, and what I meant was he has a wobbly face and silly hair.
Okay, I think it's mainly because it was very during that time period is very when Ken was very romanticized, and I feel like it's just that he's just a Ken doll without making it. Yeah, well, I mean that's how I see it.
Simon, we just got Pat to like this, and now you're going to ruin it. You're going to throw it all away.
Okay, but
no, it's fine. I like this one.
Okay, but in any case, it was good. It has like a little bit like, we'll get into it afterwards. But like, there's like bits I go, you can nitpick this and that, right? But generally speaking, it's quite a sweet movie. Again, I think maybe it's not as emotionally breaking as like Swan Song that we had, but I feel like I get why people would feel sad about it. I don't feel like I would be like a slobbering, like crying mess, like some people have described it. But like, yeah, it's a sad film. It's not like gut busting, gut busting and like tear jerking film. But it's a sad and sweet film. I just needed to ask if Rob was here. I would ask him if he cried. Did he cry at this film?
No, he didn't.
No, he did not.
Okay, so it's not that.
It didn't
it's not-
even make Rob cry. That did,
Yeah, so
It made Alec cry.
It did make me cry, but that's because I'm a man. I'm a manly pussy.
I'm glad you finished that.
Thank you.
Okay. Next person. I have no comments after that.
Sorry.
Yeah, pick it up then.
Okay. 3 more. Who's going next?
Who's left? Me,
You.
Camilla,
And
and
Camilla. Sorry.
okay. I'll go. If my connection is too bad, let me know because my internet sucks. I thought it was good. Was pleasantly surprised. I think from the moment of the fake out of he runs after Patrick Swayze runs after the guy with the gun, and you think, or I thought anyway, oh no, she got shot. For goodness sakes. But then he got shot, and it's just like, oh, that was good. So there was a few things in here that were quite nice. There was one thing that really annoyed me, which I'll get onto later. But otherwise, yeah, good film. I wanted to ask, since y'all keep talking about whether it was going to be sad or make people cry or whatnot, was that like an expectation, or was it just like, was that normal at the time back then, or was it like, did it make many people cry?
It's a reputation this film has.
Frightened films.
So, like, the first time I heard of this film was when my mum had watched it, and every time she watches it, she cries. But, my mum's a bit like Rob. She cries at, like, anything. So, I did a bit of research, and a lot of people that watch it cried at it all the time. I was like, oh, this must be a really sad film. Then watched it again, and I was like, I can see the bit why they'd cry. Like that whole end sequence, I can see why people cry at it, because it is quite sad. But
it's more fun though. I'd definitely describe it as more fun than sad.
Yeah, I think it's. I wouldn't go and say it's a comedy, but it's got comedy elements, obviously, because of Whoopi Goldberg.
But yeah, I think, I don't know, maybe I could imagine the first part the part at the beginning where he dies and the part at the end are probably, I would assume, the most emotionally charged parts. Obviously there's other parts within there where I want to punch some people, take them out. But yeah, I thought it was a good film. Pleasantly, like, I didn't know what to expect at all. But I'm glad it was good, and I enjoyed most of it.
It's high praise for him, man.
It is. It is.
Right. Corey or Camilla?
I could go. Yeah. So Ghost was something that I was very familiar with. But years and years ago, I watched it a few times with my family as a kid. And so I had a pretty good idea of what I was coming up to. And I did remember enjoying it when I was a kid, but obviously I'm quite different now. So I was curious, and I really, really enjoyed it. I thought like Alec, you said, like the premise was really good. I thought somebody, a loved one dying, and then he's still stuck around as a ghost, and he could like see everything that's going on, and there was the whole mystery surrounding his death, and I thought it was just like so compelling. Like it was, like I thought the story was fantastic, and I really enjoyed that. Um, I think a lot, like some people have said, it didn't hit me as hard as I would have thought if I think about the story on paper. I think there's some elements that kind of made it fall a little flat for me, like, and I could get more into that later. But as Ben would know, I do struggle with like older movies and like older special effects and all that stuff. So that's where it gets difficult for me, because like I want to know. I wish I could have some movies for it to stand beside and know like how well did they do for the special effects. I did think the sound, the moaning, groaning sounds that the like evil spirit thingies made were pretty creepy by today's standards, for me anyway. But yeah, this movie had a lot for me to like. Like I did cry, and as you guys will learn, that's not too hard to do for me. I cry very easily. So, but and I did laugh, and I also laugh easily. But Whoopi Goldberg is just like really funny. The movie completely was that much better once she came around, and just like off the bat, first scene, she just was making me laugh. So to see like her reactions and like um her slowly realize that she does have this gift that's been in her family. That was just really comical to me. Her just freaking out, right? So, um, but yeah, I think honestly, this might be like controversial because we know how reboots can go and like remake. But I think that this would be a good remake done with like modern effects and like with and yeah, so that's just my thought, because I thought the story was that good, and I would love to see it redone again. I think it has the potential to have like a lot of impact, but it would need um good acting again. I thought Patrick Swayze was fantastic acting. um and Whoopi Goldberg was like, if that's the problem, like she added a lot to it, so it would need some a good cast yet again. But I would watch that. I would be intrigued to see that.
Who would-
I'd actually agree with that, but switch the main characters around. You could have maybe someone like a Chris Rock replace Whoopi Goldberg.
Hmm.
Someone like that. I'm not saying exactly like that. Don't worry, Alec.
Well, I mean, it's the question: who are you going to replace Sam with? Who is your protagonist? Who are you choosing?
We just need to find
I
another
dunno.
rubber-faced Lego man. I nominate
It's just
Tom
someone
Cruise.
that all the
Damn it!
lads
Why
like,
did you
isn't
pick
it?
that as well? Damn it!
Oh, I know who it could be in. It could be John Cena. He's a rubber faced Lego man of our generation.
How do you know?
Can't see
Nobody's
me.
seen him.
Damn it. Damn it.
Oh,
He's made out of transparent Lego. That's what.
Alec had to
Cool.
look at someone and be like, "Why did you make that reference?" Because you know he's going to make the joke.
just reference where you say you want something to go to like kind of compare it with like effects is. Back to the Future was 5 years before this, and Terminator 2 was 1 year after this. What else?
Yeah,
is
Corey thinks
there?
they're old as fuck.
When
as well.
did Star Wars come out? I guess it's a question, right? Because they both had the I say holographic, but like those like
Oh yeah,
those
Star Wars was like over 10 years before this.
New Hope came out 1977. So
So
No,
I
just
thought
embarrassed
the
myself.
effects were all right.
yeah, I mean like
Yeah, it's
I mean
only the demon part.
It's one of those ones where it's kind of like you're trying to you kind of can spot the green screen very easily. Like, we've got a lot better at hiding the green screen. I do agree with you that like a reboot would look cool, with the tech we have now. I just don't agree with like the standard of writing we have now. for films. I feel
Yeah,
like they'd go like,
they would.
it's the Ghost cinematic universe. Just like, fuck's sake, go away. Like, no more, done. Go, stop. You would need to have Ghost 2 and Ghost 3, The Reckoning, and all the rest of them. It's just
Ghost
like,
in the Shell. Yeah.
no,
Oh,
not again, not again.
What if they got like Whoopi Goldberg's character is played by Aquafina? Yeah,
Oh.
perfect.
Wonderful.
perfect.
Just, let's take the funny character and make her not funny. Incredible. Why didn't we think of this sooner? Camilla, last to go. Oh, this is so cute. On the sofa doing it next to each other.
Wait a second. Yeah, headphones. Sorry. Can't remember what I was gonna say now. Sorry. Crap. No, it's not your fault. I forget it.
Oh, it's okay. Camilla's muted.
Anyway, I agree with that. Whoopi Goldberg was great. It's not what I was going to say. But yeah, Whoopi Goldberg was great. Yeah, there were parts I was just like, "Oh, please, can you be quiet?" But that was the whole point. It's meant to make it funnier. That she's like, she could ruin the whole plan by talking improv, ad-libbing too much, or not being, blending in enough. But yeah, she does it really well. The role, she's like perfect for it, and she does. It's quite funny how I liked their, and I'm not saying it was on purpose or whatnot, but I imagine this as being one of the things her character did before she got into Sister Act. And that just made it even better. And then when she was giving the $4 million to the nuns, I was just like, this is great. I could imagine, yeah, she was getting into all this kind of crime and different stuff and forgery, whatever.
She actually did
And
it
then
off. She did Sister Act after this.
Yeah, I know. Sister Act was
okay.
2 years after this.
Yeah.
So I was imagining this film taking place before Sister Act and being one of the things she used to do before she ended up in like Sister Act. In my head, it was just kind of funny. It's like, that'd be kind of cool. Just put in there as like canon. Why not?
I mean, it would change the concept of Sister Act a lot because, like, she's dealing with the inner city school kids, but she's also got to deal with the ghosts as well. So it'll be like she's got.
I've
a
not
lot
seen
on her
Sister
plate.
Act.
Oh, okay.
By the way.
Apologies.
Why did I get a judgmental laugh there?
Wait, say that again?
I said that's the second one, not the first one.
Oh, what's in the second one?
The second one's the school kids.
Oh,
The first one is just when she's undercover, hiding it.
yeah. What was she hiding from again? What did she do?
Her boyfriend was trying to kill her. So he was in the bomb.
And that would make even more sense. Like
She'd stolen $4 million from him and given them to a bunch of nuns.
Like she's gotten involved with another person who's not quite legit, and they want to kill her. She was running from someone who wanted to kill her. I mean, it just makes sense. I'm sure they probably went. I'm trying to think. Did they reach out to her for Sister Act after seeing her in this? I wonder if, like, in the trivia of like Sister Act, if there's like anything about that.
I don't know what about this made that made him go, you know what? You'd be a good nun.
But imagine, like, they see her being so kind of like, oh, I don't want to do this. And people already saw this. And they thought, wait, this would be great. Perfect timing. Let's cast her. Yeah. She will do this real good. Anyway, It's kind of funny.
I guess this would have cemented her as like a comedic sort of talent, I suppose. So yeah, good point.
Did she do other stuff like outside of this? I don't know much of her.
I've seen one or two of them. But
This is her second appearance in Film Club because she was also in The Lion King. But that's all I've got really.
Oh, but like, actually, let me just double check.
there was
So,
one on her doorsters trying to find out who her real dad is. Also.
What was
It's
the,
around that
what's the
same
question about Whoopi?
so if I
It's
go
like-
to see all her filmography,
Yeah, Color Purple was her big break.
Oh, yeah, she was Miss Seething.
okay,
Yeah, she's
so
done loads.
man, she's got.
I
so
didn't really
many
like that
films.
film.
Well,
But
the original, even.
Yeah.
Wow.
I watched it just before the new one came out, and I didn't like it that much that I decided not to watch the new one.
Damn. There's too much purple for that.
It was it was a difficult watch.
yeah, honest, I could imagine.
I
He
do
did
kind of want to see
quite a
it
few
just out of
films.
curiosity.
Oh,
because there
watch
was-
it. Classic.
What?
I say, yeah, watch it. It's a classic.
Well, I was going to say because there was like a fantastic bit during an awards ceremony at one point where Elizabeth Banks decided she was going to have a go at Steven Spielberg, and she was like, "Hey, Steven Spielberg, where's all the female protagonists?" And then everyone went, "The Color Purple," and she went, "Okay, there's one film with a female. Okay, bye." And then she had to just kind of walk off stage. I was like, "Nah."
Damn. I mean, he's done films with. I mean, I don't know what year that was, but I'm thinking about E.T. And then you had the one he didn't technically produce, but he produced, but he didn't technically direct. Though he really directed it. Actually, what's that? Am I thinking about the right film? The one with the kid in the TV and then
Is it
goes.
about
Poltergeist.
Poltergeist.
God damn,
Yeah.
man, we watched that recently.
One memory.
He's
But-
directed.
Yeah. But anyway. Like, oh yeah, well, I want to watch the new one. I haven't gotten around to it.
I'll never forgive that film, Ben. You made an enemy for life.
Portuguesa.
Right, have we all
Yeah,
given our
yeah.
opening statements?
I believe so.
I think Camilla still needs to go, does she not?
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
I enjoyed it. And I don't really know how much I'm supposed to talk about it. I didn't think I was going to enjoy it because... sorry, can you turn off... Oh my. It's like I can hear myself talking and I can hear myself in my earphones.
Now we can't hear you at all.
Yeah, Camilla, you're muted.
Wait, are they sharing the same input?
Well, I mean, like, would it? So,
These techie couples, I don't know what they're doing.
I mean, if they're both
Oh,
on
no,
mobile,
Frozen.
they can just press. Well, yeah, she's frozen. That's another thing.
I thought they were using just their own phones.
Yeah, but like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. If it's like
Yeah.
the way Emmanuel does it, he presses the button to talk. So if she's it looks like she's going to press the button, but she's frozen, so she can't press the button. because she's frozen. So it's like,
Oh, fuck. How?
Oh.
Are they back?
Okay. It wouldn't
That was really
unmute
slow.
me
Oh,
for some reason. Yeah, I'm back now. What was that? The internet's really bad. Yeah, I wasn't expecting to enjoy it because I thought it was I hadn't seen it before, and I just kind of knew it in the context of like romance films, 90s rom-coms, and I thought it was going to be really corny because all I'd really seen of it was the pottery wheel scene. So I'd always kind of avoided it. But it was really good. I really enjoyed it. I wasn't expecting it to have it about much more just, oh, guy's dead, and, like, he missed his girlfriend or whatever. Because there's a few films that are kind of a similar thing, but it's like I think there's like a Reese Witherspoon one where she's living in a New York apartment and there's like a ghost who also lives there who is like trying to move on the fact that like he's dead and his like ex is not his ex, like the partner he had is and then and just it's a bit rubbish. So that's kind of what I was expecting. And I was really pleasantly surprised that it was about more than that. I kind of saw I thought the story was a tiny bit predictable. When he's in the office with his friend and he goes, oh, there's too much money in this account. His friend just listens.
Oh.
And it's like,
Cutting out.
I'm getting most of the words.
But now they're frozen.
Now they're frozen it.
sorry, that's terrible.
Turn on the Wi-Fi. You had like a 5-second delay or something as well. Crazy. This is why my camera's off as well.
We heard most of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they heard most of you. It was just right at the end.
Where it cut off was you were talking about it being a bit predictable, like him being in the office, seeing too much money in the accounts.
Yeah, so I felt like when he said to his friend, the friend comes into the office and he's trying to work it out. He's like punching numbers into the calculator, and the friend's like, "Oh, what's going on?" And he says, "There's too much money in this account." And the friend's like, "Oh, that's going to take you too long to figure it out. Let me help you with it." And there was just something about his face in that moment that he just kind of made the subtlest of faces. And then by offering to help, I was just like, this feels suspicious for reasons I can't quite put my finger on, but I assumed it was some sort of like, I thought it was like insider trading or embezzlement or something. Like, I didn't quite know exactly where it was going, but I just kind of assumed like he had done something bad that he's trying to make sure his friend doesn't find out. And then once like the whole mugging scene happened, I just felt that those two things had to be connected. So I just assumed like, oh, this is like he's arranged for like his friend to be taken out. But I also thought maybe that the friend just hated him because he wanted to be with Demi Moore and was just like trying to find a way to off his so-called friend. Yeah, but yeah, I enjoyed it. It was good.
Okay, so we've all learned, don't commit a crime around Camilla. She will sniff you out instantly.
Basically.
So be like, he made a face. He's guilty. Throw him in jail. No trial needed. That's fair. That was something that I did really appreciate, like on my rewatch this morning, where you got like you got like little hints from Carl, evil Carl, nasty Carl.
Carl.
Yeah, Carl that kills people. Like yeah, just in like in his dialogue with Sam, you get like a lot of hints. Like he like I think like one of his first lines is when they're doing up the house and the attic, I guess. And he's going like, if you painted this, you could sell it like for like and like double your money. And they're just like, oh, Carl, shut up! You're so obsessed with money. And he's like, eh. And it's not something like you necessarily like would pick up on. Like I mean, Camilla probably would pick up on it because you know she's sort of on it. But like when they're talking, he points out he's wearing a new suit, and like he looks at like he notices a car like on the side, and it's just like, oh, that's a lovely car. And then Sam's like, you better pay off the Mustang first, though. And it's just kind of like you're already getting like a little bit of an impression of him where he's very sort of focused on like material stuff, but like yeah, just that little line about the car, just like you're not actually paying off like what you've got already. Like you're not a very like responsible anchor necessarily.
I
But
have
you are very.
expected. Oh, sorry.
No, that's what I was going to say. He's very covetous. But
Yeah, yeah. I have expected when he showed up to Demi's place. I can't remember the characters' names. To Demi's place with his Mustang. I have expected it to be the car he saw of the Toretto. I was like, oh wait, no, that's the Mustang. Okay, because the way they showed the car off, they only showed the first half of it, which from a distance looks kind of like the Toretto, but then you realize how completely different it is once you actually see it. It's like, ah. But to be honest, we know he stole the money anyway. So.
Yeah, I kind of I wish I hadn't known how the story plays out because I did really want to analyze, how much suspicion like a first watcher would be getting off of Carl. And I did think, yeah, I could see that like the office scene where he started getting a little wiggy about the his Patrick Swayze finding all the extra money and the accounts being off. He did act odd there. Um,
I think
and I
you can also see why Sam would trust him and just think he's being like a helpful
yeah.
friend, like if you weren't suspecting him, kind of thing. Sorry.
Yeah. I did like I think the movie did a pretty good job of kind of like leaving some hints but like not making it too obvious. And I did remember that like I did know that Carl was going to end up being like in on it all. But what I'd forgotten is, and what I think I caught in this rewatch was it wasn't the plan for um Swayze to die, right? That the Willie Lopez was just meant to get the wallet and not necessarily kill him. So, but it just shows like how twisted Carl is. Like he was able to like still try to cover his ass and like interact with Molly, all while knowing that he was the one responsible for killing Sam. Sam is his name. And even just to like, oh yeah, his character, like he even like was making the moves on Molly, knowing that he had killed his friend. I was just like, wow, this guy's a scumbag.
Yeah.
He played that very well. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
did too well.
Yeah, I get the impression he like heard the news and went, "Okay." It's like, oh Jesus.
Huh? Oh, what, me or someone else?
What?
Oh, who are you talking to, Alec?
No one in particular. I get the impression that Carl got the news that Sam died and just kind of went, "Oh, oh."
Yes. Also, it does make me wonder, since we didn't get too much background for like what he's done before this, but the way he died was not too dissimilar from Willie. So it's just like, wait, has he done messed up stuff like this many times in the past?
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. Because it's kind of like it's very definitive, like he's a bad guy and he warrants like being taken to hell.
Yeah, because you see other people who might be, I don't know, you don't know much about the subway guy, Ghost, but he wasn't dragged to hell. Um, oh yeah, that's a terrible film. Anyway,
Oh,
it long story short, it had potential, but the people behind it just wanted money and tra- just crap all over it. Anyway, um, what you call it? And then you had the two in the hospital, is dead. You had the multiple ones, obviously we saw with around Whoopi Goldberg. So in it by film's logic, unless they did a lot of bad stuff to people, they didn't get dragged to hell in that way. So maybe he was more involved, I guess, before this with the gangs and the mafia and different stuff beforehand. Like I don't know. They seem like great friends up until this point. I wonder how long they knew each other. Was it like they knew each other for many years, or was it more of a kind of American Psycho kind of superficial friendship where they seem great friends, but I don't know, maybe it's not true.
I don't have a guess. I couldn't from what the movie showed us, I couldn't make a guess either way how long they knew each other.
I think they must have known each other for a good little while, just because of how close they are, and like Sam dies, and then he seems to be the main person that we see around his girlfriend while she's trying to cope and rebuild her life and everything. And obviously, it would be too confusing to the plot to have like loads of people around. But I think his presence there and how kind of visible he was in their lives implies a certain closeness. But it could still be a fairly new friendship. But they do seem to be so quite close.
Yeah. Maybe it's more like a working friendship. Like he kind of like met someone at this workplace for like 5 years before that, and they just became good mates, and then that was that.
Yeah.
Because if
And
it was
maybe
like, sorry,
oh no, carry on.
I was going to say, if it was like a childhood friendship, then there's more of a deep-rooted issue there. Like, I think it would have to be addressed in the story. Like, he would have more than just the money thing. And the money would be just the thing, just be one part of why he wanted to take him out. If it was a childhood friendship, because it's kind of like, I've known you since I was 10 years old, and now I'm going to kill you. It's like, really, there has to be a reason. It must be more than money.
Oh,
for someone to
I
want
kind
to-
of like the idea that it is someone that he's known for a while, because like he's someone who he trusts with his Mac code. He's
Definitely.
someone who is familiar with Molly. He's someone he is like the person that they asked for help when they were moving in.
Yeah, he's the most.
So I
trusted.
think yes, I do kind of like the idea that they've known each other a long time, but like you just don't know, like, you know, and you know, being a banker, I guess he would be very. I guess being a banker and being best friends with someone who has like a life with a beautiful woman with a questionable sense of haircuts, like, you know, you do possibly get jealous. Yeah, you know, it's very.
I was going to mention that Demi Moore's haircut did annoy me as well, actually.
Emmanuel, you don't have hair.
What did you say, Ben?
Demi Moore's haircut did annoy me for like 90% of the film, because she just reminded me of like Will Byers from Stranger Things. It's just like it looks like she had a bowl cut for like 90% of the time, and it's like, this isn't the Demi Moore I remember. This is like, it's only that scene before they obviously he gets killed, before the murder, that she has her hair like pushed up, and she's the sexy Demi Moore that we all know. But the fact that she has a big old fringe that kind of looks like a bowl cut is like, oh. and she's, oh.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, he has got a point. He has got a point. I'm not opposed to pixie cuts, but like, you know, she had proper. There was a proper bowl going on there, and I was like,
pixie cuts look great when there isn't that big old fringe.
There's a lot of judgmentalness in this call, isn't it?
I'm just saying, if
Alec zipping in on me.
Excuse me, Ben. Excuse me, Ben. I'm trying to fight your corner here. You dug it even deeper. I'll just say question.
Yeah, true.
So I'm helping you out.
Maybe I don't know. I was looking back at it and like in Google Images. I still don't see a problem with it. And I thought, oh, it
No,
looks
like-
pretty cool still. And
She
maybe
just looks
it's
like a
because
teenager.
It's not a
But-
problem. You just look like a 14-year-old boy. I'm just
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, that's
But
what I found
maybe-
tricky about.
yeah, and
Maybe-
that makes sense. But maybe at the time it was
Oh,
it
definitely.
was in fashion, and this is why her hair was like that in the film.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
What
I
year
assumed,
was
I
it again?
assumed it
they
was
didn't
like
want
a,
her to be the typical kind of lady with long hair who can't defend herself, kind of and they wanted her to be different.
'Cause
yeah.
that
I
could
assumed
be
it was a
tricky for her.
generational thing because Patrick Swayze's got a fucking stupid haircut as well.
I mean, I'm sure Bruce Willis liked it because she was married to him at that point.
Oh yeah, true. They were not him.
Yeah, but he
But
also
what-
has no hair, so he's impressed with everything.
Yeah, but she might have cut it off to try and give him some, but just didn't take.
Here you go, Bruce. You can have a bowl cut of your own, and he's like,
Oh, man.
Yeah, yeah.
What year was this? But that like, haircut aside, but I think my point is that for example, if you know someone since you're a kid, I don't think maybe it's just because it's me. I won't be able to like completely betray my friend that I've known since I was 10. Like I couldn't betray Emmanuel and Rob because I've known them since I was 11 years old.
Did you see Camilla do that? Just as you said that, she went.
Oh yeah, she's sus. She's sus now.
She's like, you would say that, wouldn't you?
The rest of us are fair game, innit?
Well, yeah, I can betray Pat and Alec, no problem, because I've only known them for a few years.
Few years. We've known each other for what, nearly 20. Yeah, we've known each other nearly 20 years.
Is it really that long? Wow.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a point to this after all.
18
I
years.
enjoy
One
that
thing
even
is,
pick up
though,
on.
he's a drug addict. He is a drug addict. Like he's paying off drug money, and it's definitely a well-known thing that drug addicts will kind of do anything and crash and burn any relationship to either get that fix or to pay their dealer off, especially if their dealer is trying to kill them because they owe them loads of money. So I feel like he could still be. I think the childhood friends hold less water for me, not because of the betrayal, but because I feel like if I had a childhood friend and I knew that he like had a problem with drugs or
If I had a childhood
he's
friend.
childhood friend who was like well, yeah, if I had a childhood friend who just I don't know, he just seems a bit of a slime ball that I just kind of feel like that wouldn't, if you'd known someone for like 20, 30 years, that wouldn't be the first time that like the bad side of his personality comes out. You might not trust him quite as much.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Depends how long you've been working together, or
Yeah,
stuff
I
like
think
that.
they're definitely
I'm not
worth
sure.
it.
I could definitely like hear an argument against like the childhood friend thing, but like he's in a position where they've known each other a long time, where he wouldn't trust him.
Yeah.
Yeah, you really see the like betrayal on his face when he finds out that Carl was in on it the whole time. Sam.
I think it's where it
really
starts.
sad.
Where it starts as well, because he's like when he's going into the apartment and he's like, "Be careful," and it's like, "Ah, shit, you have no idea." And he just kind of
Yeah.
walks in, and then Willie goes like, "Carl, what are you doing here?" And he's like, it's
The look on Sam's face when he realizes he'd been betrayed, I thought that was great acting.
pretty rubbery.
Stop it.
Yeah, he convinced me there. 'Cause I think at that point I was like, oh, I wasn't sure of his character, but obviously after that point he kind of like really warmed to him and you were on his side because you convince him he convinces you that he has empathy and there's nothing really horrible, malicious about his character, and he's just a normal guy that he just has a friend and he just feels like let down entirely by this guy. That's kind of like he just can't believe that it's happened because at that point the audience thinks he's just a random mugger that's just kind of like shot him and that's it. There's not much nothing to it, and most people would think, oh yeah, that's just it sucks and it's messed up and horrible that someone would kill someone just for like petty cash, but that's the way the world is. So you kind of accept that, and he was probably willing to accept that. Oh yeah, this is just some desperate man that just needed a couple of bucks, but then there's some reason to it. So,
That's the thing. Like, I've got like I've got whole sects of my family where they're like the parents of that family kind of like said to my family, if they call you, do not answer, because they've like stripped our house bare of stuff for drugs. So if they start deciding they're going to be chummy with you, do not let them in. They are going to nick shit, and you won't see it again, and you won't see them again. And it's like, God, that's your own. And that was like the mum of that family telling us that, and it was like, Jesus. So like, yeah, if you're a drug addict, you will do like doesn't actually matter who it is. People will, yeah, if they're drugged up enough, they will just do whatever.
yeah, that is a good point. Something in my family kind of had that. That's something that's very true, because despite you can have like family's family, but at the same time, it doesn't like mean anything at the end of the day when there's someone that's kind of like really lost their way mentally or otherwise, and you kind of like that's why like you guys as my friends are so important, because it's kind of you don't have to consider. You don't have to have like blood relation to be family. You can just have friendship. That's family to me, and that is more. That's the most important thing, is how they treat you and how you treat them, and that makes the relationship the true family that you're talking about.
And you don't turn your back on family.
Yeah.
Stop it! Stop it right now!
No.
Sorry, as soon as she started mentioning family, I just thought of Dom Toretto.
Yeah, the Vin Diesel and us is speaking out right now.
Who did the applause? Who did the applause?
Whoever did it.
No.
It deserved an applause.
No, it did not. Shut the fuck up.
Come on a little louder. Sorry.
But yeah, I think Alex's point is that that's what's quite sad about this, is that someone who was a friend that he considered family would do something like this, and that's like the double whammy. It wasn't related. It was just a friend that he really trusted could do something just petty as this.
I always feel so stupid when people are like, I knew it was him all along, because when it happened and the twist dropped, I just looked at him and I was just like I don't try and like guess the film out like before the end. Like I just kind of like just sit and accept like what's going on like along the way, and then when the twists happen, I'm just like on the edge of my seat. Oh, Jesus, what a bastard!
See, I didn't predict it, but I was like, this guy's a bit suspicious.
Yeah, it's too good to be true.
You had seen it before, to be fair.
A long time ago. I also didn't like it when I watched it years ago. The only bit I remembered was the pottery scene.
When I watched it the second time, I went, this guy's a bit suspicious.
There's probably about, near enough 25-year gap between my viewings.
Oh, okay. All right.
Oh, wow. That's how old we are.
Yeah.
Speak for yourself.
Yeah, every scene and the song, you know, the love song that comes up twice, right? That they're like signature, you know. That has been made fun of so many times, you know, parodied so many times. I think that like made it difficult for me to kind of take it more seriously and kind of, because I couldn't
I was telling Eb that my only reference for this film was from an episode of Community, I think it is, where they do like a pottery class, and like the teacher's like, if anyone does the scene from Ghost, I am just going to lose my mind and come at you. Like, I can't control it anymore. I just go for the neck. I can't.
I think
I didn't know what that meant, but I was like, yeah.
I think The Simpsons referenced it, and I know Family Guy referenced it. So they were my most recent experiences of it. Of all the Simpsons episodes that I've watched, Ghost was referenced. I know.
Yeah,
Oh.
you're definitely right. It doesn't come to mind, but I think it's like I think the scene where Bart almost dies and he goes, "Hey, cool, I'm dead." It just makes me laugh.
I was really worried you're going to say something about raw dogging.
Oh no! Hopefully, The Simpsons haven't touched on that. Family Guy probably has.
Family Guy is taking the piss out of like literally everything. That and South Park. I mean, look at how long was Michael Jackson passed away, and South Park had a mock episode. It's like 2 weeks.
Whoa.
Yeah, well, that's Trey Parker, Matt Stone's signature. Yeah, they're so on it at like what's happening right then and there.
Yeah. Let me have a look, see if Simpsons actually referenced it.
But what did you say, Ben? I missed it. Were you like, it's like someone showed up saying, "Look, guys, I'm dead," or whatever?
Oh, it was just a scene in The Simpsons. I think what the main part that I think they parodied was a scene where Bart literally almost dies. Well, I think it was this episode where Mr. Burns runs him over. I could be wrong. And he's literally lying almost dead, and his spirit just comes out, and he just goes, "Hey, cool, I'm dead," and then it just comes back to life. But I think there was more of a reference there later on. But yeah, I think this film's interesting because it does remind me of a lot of films that have come before it, but haven't done this premise exactly. Because even It's a Wonderful Life kind of touched on this, so kind of like. He is kind of a sense of a mixture of George and Clarence from Wonderful Life wrapped in one. He's just the same guy. Just the idea of this guy experiencing something from the other side, but not being able to interact or do anything to an extent, at least at first.
We shall call him Jilarens.
Yes, and it's kind of like a lesson and kind of and a warning of what could happen and what things are without him being in the real world, kind of thing. Obviously, It's a Wonderful Life does it in an alternate reality kind of sense, but how this did it in a way that this is what's happening while you're not in the picture. Almost like Christmas Carol as well. So it touches on that.
Mhm.
That was another film that came out shortly after this one, just to give you Muppet Christmas Carol. I don't know how much that gives you an example of the technology at the time. But
Interesting.
This is my second film in a row that came out the same year as well, and you that one too. You enjoyed my previous film that I picked that also came out in the same year.
yeah, Days of Thunder. I'm still mystified as to why you turned on it. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
I just thought what I just remembered. I didn't actually look up the trivia, and the first thing I see is that Whoopi Goldberg wasn't in mind when they were doing casting, but Patrick Swayze was just like, nah, she'll be perfect for this role because he saw one of her Broadway shows. And they decided to give her a chance at the casting, and she obviously impressed them.
Cool.
That's cool.
Yeah, I'm really glad they went with her, obviously.
Yeah.
The subway ghost guy, he looked familiar, but I couldn't remember where else I had seen him before.
It's also his second trip in Film Club because he was in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Yes.
Oh.
He's the ugly one.
Oh, you're not that bad at it.
That was my nickname in
You're a bit rubbery, but you're alright.
Boosh.
He's in a few random things. So besides One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, he's in Tomorrow Never Dies as Dr. Kaufman.
Yes, he is.
To be honest, I don't really know much of his other stuff. He is Italian, or is he Sicilian? Anyway, he's from that part of the world.
It's shaped like a
I'm
boosh.
sorry.
Who knew?
What?
Yeah, besides, yeah. What's going on?
Someone just played a video I put in the chat.
It was
He's
the
in Rusty
video
as
I
Dog
played.
Tale.
Sorry.
It's the Simpsons reference.
Ooh, let me check it out.
This is going to be painless, I can tell.
Oh, fucking hell.
Do you know what special effect I was like I want to know like how they did when
Patrick
Sam
Swayze, it was rubber.
no when Sam wrote in the steamy mirror boo.
Oh, yeah.
How did they do that? That was because it
That's
looked
true.
clear. And
I'm
there's
actually
nothing
not sure.
yeah.
The special effects kind of reminded me of Matilda. I don't know if you've seen. I mean, Matilda was written before the Ghost was made, but there's the few similar beats. So there's when she's kind of figures out her telekinesis and she's starting to unleash it all on Miss Trunchbull. She writes on the chalkboard, Agatha, this is Magnus, blah, 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 blah. And it's kind of similar to the Boo scene. And then also she goes to Trunchbull's house and like makes the paintings move and flicks the lights on and off and all this other stuff. And those just when I was watching like similar moments like that in Ghost, it really reminded me of it. And it's kind of funny because the effects are kind of the same era. I think Matilda, like 96 or something?
Yeah.
But then Matilda being written, obviously, whenever it was by Roald Dahl in the early 1900s, it was just kind of funny to me how similar those things were. But yeah, I think at the time the special effects were decent. Maybe because I was thinking of Matilda being slightly older, but the special effects seemed the same. But it was really clever.
Yeah, it was the same decade. You're right. That kind of like makes it more like something like we'd all grown up with. Was it something that the films that we saw when we were kids, we kind of like took it for granted as that this is so cool, this is so interesting, and it's just like when they were trying to figure out these visual effects for the first time, and before CGI came out properly, this is what they had to do to kind of like really be creative to make these things look good.
In the process of trying to see how they did that in the movie, the Boo thing, the way they got him, his breath not to be like misty, in certain scenes where other people were wrapped up, they had him chewing ice, so he wouldn't be like you wouldn't see mist coming out of his mouth. Like, man,
that's cool. That's really cool.
I hope he didn't have sensitive teeth. That would have been painful.
Have any more trivia?
Oh, jeez.
Oh, there's plenty, but I just stopped talking. I'll say more as it comes up.
Oh,
I would say in general, like, if anyone who's interested, just go on IMDb if you get a chance. There's a lot of cool stuff, like little things, even how they casted Swayze, because of like the emotion he showed when talking about his father in an interview right before. And it's just like, this guy perfect.
Did you find how they did the Boo scene?
No,
The
sorry,
boob
I'm
scene.
still looking.
Well,
About-
get on it.
The boob
Oh,
scene.
sorry.
No, thank you. I feel like saying something Joe used to say. Well, now I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm just going through my notes, trying to find some stuff.
Oh yeah. In terms of, I might as well bring it up now. So, in terms of two parts that was really weird for sound. The first part, I'm sure like everyone remembers, he's approaching Whoopi Goldberg's place, and the music's really loud. You're like, oh yeah, this stuff is cool. He gets in the shop, and it's quieter than it was outside. Even if it was like playing, let's say there was a boom box like outside the shop, it's just like, how is it this quiet? Like this doesn't make any sense. That kind of like put me out of it for a moment, but as well. And then I think there was a moment.
I don't remember the boombox.
Do you remember when he was walking towards Whoopi Goldberg's place, and there was music playing?
It's when he first leaves Woody Lopez's apartment and he kind of doesn't know what to do with himself, I think. And he's like walking down the street and he sees like the sign over her
Right.
shop and there's really loud music. And then yeah, when he goes in and it's really quiet, yeah, that was a bit of a weird sound moment.
Oh, right. You know what it was? Ed was asleep while I was watching it, so I had the TV low, so I didn't pick that up.
Ah, fair enough. And there was another moment, but it wasn't as obvious. You remember which one I complained about? Oh, I can't remember. I think it was towards the end of the film when they were running. They were running away from Carl. With the Goldberg and Sam up the ladder, one of the ladders, and they did some kind of weird stuff. Like this sound is it? I'm not sure if it was not in sync or just not right. But anyway, it doesn't really matter. The main thing that annoyed me, and this is mostly because I tend to get, I said triggered or mainly annoyed by this kind of stuff more so than I think most people anyway. But Sam's character, I found it out of character that the person we were introduced to, Sam, and like all her traits or whatnot, her personality, that she would, when she went to the police, she mentioned his ghost. And for, to me, someone who is the type of person she is, too, she also didn't believe in any of this kind of stuff. She was very much against, didn't think any of it was true, thought it was a bunch of crap. And it's like, fair enough. Now, yes, she's just newly kind of just about accepting that, yeah, Sam is a ghost. But even in her grief, I find it hard that someone like her, who wasn't someone who had an inkling that maybe some of this stuff might exist but never saw it or really believed in it. Like, no, she completely didn't. And I find it hard to believe that she would do the trope. And it's happened many times, even before this film was made, where someone says exactly the thing that they shouldn't say so that the people who can help them won't help them, so that the plot can kind of move in a different way. Because from what I got, she's not that kind of person who's going to try and convince someone when she thought it was a bunch of crap. and go to the police. Yeah, his ghost told me. She could have said a whole bunch of other stuff. Which would have like, all combinations of all the things she could have said would have made sense to me. It was just the kind of her mentioning a ghost and then carry on trying to convince them. I'm just like, this doesn't seem in her character. And on top of the kind of trope of, oh yeah, someone says this so that no one will listen to them or hear them. And it's just like, she could have mentioned so many things. Why bring up a ghost? This isn't normal in that world. This is just like our world. There's no backing for that. A lot of people don't believe in it. Why are you going to convince the police that? Why are you going to try?
All right.
It just seems out of character for her. Sorry. Yeah.
I guess she could have just said, like, oh yeah, I got a tip.
I mean, that's what I was going to say, because when Molly went to the police, she didn't really say, the ghost told me, because she didn't interact with Sam as a ghost. She only reacted with Oda May. And the only reason that she went to the police was she told them the backstory, which the policewoman afterwards was like, okay, honey, I've got too much work on my hands. I can't be bothered. It was the actual like sergeant, I guess, who was there, who was like, so you want me to just check a file for what's his name, Willie, and afterwards,
Sorry to stop you. There's a moment when they're talking, he's like, I know this must be really hard for you, but they mention before we actually come in the scene, he kind of alludes to the fact that they've mentioned she heard from the ghost of her dead partner through Oda May. And she actually apparently mentioned his ghost, which is what made it worse.
Yes, that I agree is a bit true, but she was a bit emotionally wrecked because hearing all like all that private information, the photo, the other stuff, or and all all the more intimate moments that Oda May would never have understood or knew about. And it's like but she was that's why the sergeant surprisingly gives her a very logical explanation, and he was like, so I didn't find a file on Willie because there isn't one. I found the file on Oda May, sorry.
Oda male.
Oda May, sorry. Oda May.
You can be an alpha male, a beta male, or an Oda male.
But yeah, for Google's character, she had a file on her, and it's like, oh yeah, she used to make fake IDs, she's conned people, she's been in to joint for like multiple times, multiple years, and all that stuff, So surprisingly, as a police officer, he did his correct sort of, paperwork. Yeah. Unlike the ones in Get Out, where they just laughed and they were like, it's done. This one at least went, all right, I'm going to check the file and see what you're going to say. Okay. This, I didn't find the file for Willie, but this is the other file. I'm pretty sure she's just trying to bullshit you because I don't know where she got this information from, but she's obviously trying to con you. So don't believe her. I mean, there's like, in its own sort of like logic, it made sense for the police officer just to listen to her and go, all right, let's see what we need to do, and then afterwards do the paperwork, because the police lady was like, she wasn't on it, but the guy was like, I might as well do it because it's. But I mean, like, it makes sense though, because it's like, obviously she's very emotional, and she didn't believe Oda May herself until it was that scene in the canteen, like being very juvenile, where she's like, Sam would never say I love you. I don't know, just say ditto, and she was like, what's a ditto? And in my mind, I instantly thought it's a Pokemon. And that's so fucking terrible. I hate myself.
I felt the same.
I hate myself that I thought that instantly. I was like, no, it's coming out. Be more serious. But yeah.
When she said that, I chuckled to myself.
Yes, it was so juvenile. But I was like, God damn it, Simon. I wasn't sure who else would. I'm glad I'm not the only person. So yeah, but like it took her a while to get over like just go go to the police, just look for this guy's file and it'll be fine. Like, she obviously went about it in the wrong way. But even if she didn't mention the ghost and she was like, I think my fiance got killed on purpose, and I thought he was murdered by this guy, by this by the character who's called Willie, right? And it was like,
Yeah, she didn't know it was on purpose yet.
By
Oh,
the
she didn't know-
character who was called Willie.
I don't know, I can't remember what was his full name.
Willie
Yeah,
Lopez?
Willie
No,
Lopez.
Yeah, Willie Lopez.
I just like how you said it like the Prince. No, sorry, the artist formerly known as Willie.
Oh, okay, sweet. Okay,
Sorry.
there he goes. So
Continue.
yeah, but like she, I mean, like it's very hard for you to go to the police and go, I think I know the person who killed my fiance, and it's like, okay, do you have a name? Do you have like what are you looking for?
What I would say, so there's some stuff that comes up which kind of goes against that. So first off, in terms of where her state was, she didn't go straight away to the police. She waited until the next day, and it's like sometime in the afternoon or whatever. And she goes to so she had time to think about how she wanted to get her thoughts together and how she wanted to actually say it. Two, they had told her, and they say this in the scene, or she quoted them, if you remember anything else, or if anything comes to mind, let us know, which often happens with victims of trauma. There could be so many things you could say. Like she could even straight up, I'm not saying that she would have thought this, is again the only problem I had with was mentioning the ghost, which didn't seem like her. But she could have even been like, I have some friends who were in like who live like in this area, and I thought I recognized him. And when I talked to one of them, they like I was able to kind of go in and see it, and I confirmed it's him. I don't mind doing like whatever it is, like one of those witness things you guys do to kind of look at them. I'm not saying that she would have thought all this. It's just one of the many things she could have said. But
I also go continue first. I've answered your question, I think.
okay, again, it was mainly that out of all the things she could have said, she mentioned the ghost, and it just felt like with the type of character she was, it felt like a kind of slightly lazy shortcut in the writing compared to everything else that was written, which felt really well. But this felt like one of those things that didn't feel quite right. Yeah, you were going to say.
You know what, Emmanuel? I'm gonna say gold star on that. I had not considered that, and yeah, that's actually like that's a dependent on what Simon comes out with. I think that's a definite problem. But convince me the other way.
I mean, what he said mostly was correct. It was the problem that she did talk to Carl first, and Carl, being the sort of like gaslighting guy, probably made I can't remember. She mentioned Willie to Carl first, and afterwards she was trying, and he was gonna be like very gaslighty and like go, oh yeah, don't. Yes, you can go to the police. They won't believe you if you talk about like ghosts and supernaturals and stuff. So it's a question of like he might have got into her head, and that's probably why she went in there a bit like, with the ghost story, because like, who's gonna believe you? I mean, you could tell them it's a ghost.
That makes it worse. I actually forgot about that. To me, anyway, that makes it worse because she trusted Carl. Obviously, we know she trusted him. And at the end of the conversation, it seemed like she was slightly convinced that, maybe it might not be true, but she's not sure. But she's got someone who she trusts, reinforcing the idea that ghosts are not real. No one will believe you. They will think you're crazy. And then she goes in and says the very thing that will make her seem crazy, when she doesn't seem the type of character who would do something like that.
I think
It is
yeah,
just like-
that's just basic human intelligence where you go, you know what? Carl's just pointed out that if I say this, I'm going to sound crazy, and also knowing what I know about what I'd think if someone came to me saying this, I'd probably think they were crazy. So maybe I don't go about the supernatural thing, and I just say I got an anonymous tip from someone. Can you check it out? Like that? Yeah, that just seems very simple to me.
Well,
And it could end up, it could go the same way at the end of the day. At the end of the day,
Yeah.
the police could still be like, we have no power in this guy. Like, I get you're trying to be an investigator yourself or whatever, but we have a process for these things. Like, even, or if they really wanted the ghost angle, her saying that to work, I feel like they would have needed to change her character just a bit. So she's the type of person who does believe in that stuff and thinks this is real. And this
Yeah, as if
situation
you
has just
can't-
given her credence.
As if you can't have like the really floaty sort of artist type who's like really into spiritualism and that. Like as if that you can't pull from that. I mean, she
I
does
will-
also have to
I-
have a boyfriend, so that's
I
where
really-
it all.
I really
Sorry.
liked being skeptical about like that part of the story of her like needing convincing that Otome was for real and that Sam really was talking to Otome. And I agree, like that wasn't really part of like in keeping with her character to kind of fly with the ghost story. But like it needed that in that scene. I think it was important that she learn about Otome and Otome's criminal history, because that comes up again later in the story where Molly is at the bank and she sees Otome at the bank, and by that point in the story she was suspicious of Otome, and that's what leads Molly to confirm with that banker guy what was she doing here, what was her name and all that stuff, and she relays what she learns about Otome at the bank later on in the story to Carl. And then that's how Carl knows exactly how involved this Otome is with what's going on. So it's like it's important that Molly learns Otome's criminal history from the police or at some point in the story. But yeah, I agree. I don't really like how she started off talking to the police about Otome.
It's definitely important she learns that, and that is definitely why she is as upfront about it as she is. But you could have still had this information be conveyed without her acting like a non-human.
Yeah, I was going to
I believe
say
it's your point.
what Alex just said. I feel like at the end of the day, it's central to the plot, because I could be misremembering this, but I don't think the officer says I couldn't find a file on Willie Lopez. He just comes back and says he has one on Otome. And
Oh
had
no,
she,
he does say there's no file on
Oh, does
Willie
he?
Lopez.
Oh, okay, never mind then.
Which I think would
Willie
explain why Carl picked him out. Sorry.
Yeah, because I just feel like it's especially the way that Whoopi kind of Otome responded when she started to hear his name and where he was from and everything. He just kind of felt like he might have been known to her by that pseudonym or something, and I just think that had she been super forthcoming, had she given, because she had his address as well, not just the name, had she been able to give the police enough information for them to take it seriously and look into it, then the rest of the film wouldn't have been able to play out how it played out, because as a minimum, someone whose partner's just been killed in the street shows up and says, oh, this guy, like, tells it in a really coherent, normal manner and says it's this guy's name and this is where he lives. Okay, you don't have a file on him, but you've come with an address and a name of someone. The bare minimum you can do with when there's someone who's died is go and investigate it. So I think it's probably just key that she wasn't able to give enough information so that the rest could play out how it played out. And it is annoying when films kind of have a character do something stupid for the sake of the plot, but it's a bit contrived. But yeah, it still
Hey,
makes
that's
sense.
my word. You can't use that word.
What's
That's
your word?
Contrivances.
That's my word.
I've
Well,
even
you
got
should think
Alec's
of it.
number saved as Contrivant Alec.
Wait, seriously?
No, contrivant isn't a word. That's not cool. No, you.
Oh yeah, you even have a T-shirt with it, don't you?
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no.
Hold on, I'll change it.
No, it's perfect as it is.
Yeah, change it to contrivant.
No.
Wait. Soundboard.
But I haven't got anything.
Oh, I forgot that I had your picture as the actor that looks like you.
Oh. Jesse Plemons.
Yeah.
Do you guys know who Jesse Plemons is?
Nope.
Do you think I look like Jesse Plemons?
I need to look him up now.
Yep, just give us a second.
It's a loaded question.
Kinda,
No.
I guess. He
No,
looks like Matt Damon than you.
he does look more like Matt Damon than me.
Yeah.
I mean, in this picture, I get it.
Yeah, okay, yeah. If you
her.
yeah, because if you angle it at like a certain angle, then you can go kind of. But yeah, it does look more like Matt Damon.
He's
Yeah,
squint.
it does look-
He's a cousin. It's Alec's cousin.
Oh,
I'm
Shut
gonna
up,
send the
Simon.
picture that I'm looking at.
Give
Yeah.
Demi Moore a haircut back.
well, I mean, when she
Yeah,
was,
that. He's
was
got the
Bruce Willis
same
or no Bruce Willis?
face shape.
Oh, you just mean it because he's fat and ginger.
Oh, he's got the same glare as well,
Hold on.
and that.
He's got the same little beady eyes.
I'm putting it in the chat.
He's cold, dead eyes like a doll's eyes.
Oh, okay. I thought you'd spelled it contrivant,
Oh yes, that's good.
and I was like, no, you can't do that. That's not a word. But then I was like, that is perfect to piss me off there.
Perfect.
Oh, I see.
Actually,
You put the Family Guy thing in there as well.
Yeah.
Ben will know. What's the fucking Simpsons word that sounds like a word but isn't?
Oh, cromulent.
That's it. It's probably. I knew you'd know.
Fucking hell. Are you like a Simpsons dictionary or something?
Ah.
Have you met Ben before?
Yeah, but I mean, Jesus, there's been what, like 2 million episodes?
Like, yeah, I've met Ben. It's like,
Kim-
yeah, we've all been in the same
Simpsons,
room.
I think, is older than me.
It's older than all of us. Yeah,
Yeah.
How old is it?
88, I think.
88?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm older than The Simpsons.
Oh, bloody hell.
Oh wow,
You know?
Well,
gosh.
There's
Well,
a
now-
whole Reddit.
There's a follow-up
Sorry,
question. I'm sure we're all scared to ask now.
Oh, when was I born? I was born in
No.
born in 86.
No. Oh, Emmanuel was very against that coming out. That's not. No, that's okay. That's fine. Don't worry about that. That's it.
Sorry, I just thought it was rude, especially on a call.
Yeah. And, Corey, what is your exact date of birth and your bank details? Just make sure.
might as well just
Every
ask.
syllable has to be precise.
Social security number, you know, the stuff.
Mother's maiden name.
Yeah. The GPS.
Oh yeah, I think I figured out how they did the booth. And this is what I was thinking along these lines, but I wasn't completely sure. But it makes sense. On the Reddit thread I was looking at anyway, people were talking about it. It seems like they never properly confirmed it, but it seems like they use some kind of, I say coolant, something really cold or whatnot on the back of the mirror, like behind it, to basically draw it so that to cool it from behind. And then that's how, and to be honest, I could imagine them doing that with some ice. Literally just rubbing ice in the back of the mirror and then drawing it in that kind of way.
So a cold
Yeah.
etch sketch.
Huh?
Yeah, so an
A
ice
cold what?
etch a sketch. Is that not how you say that?
Yeah.
I'm interested to see what kind of spoilers come out because
That's
great.
cool. That's pretty smart.
they said down the road is true about
Fucking love that just
the universe is beyond where the universe
I forgot about them.
maybe you'll get like a modern version of like a Black Lotus and, like,
We were talking
combine-
about contrivances. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Alex. Alec.
I was gonna say it combined my two loves of drawing and something else. But oh yeah,
Drawing and contrivances.
this is what you get when you don't look at the screen.
I wanted to know if anybody else caught this, and I couldn't explain it. When Subway guy was pushing Sam, and he was trying to get Sam out of the train, right? And Sam was sliding down down on the floor, and Sam flew through the door outside, so Sam ended up between cars, right? And so Sam flew like a ghost through the door, and then he slammed up against the other car. So I didn't understand that, how he could slide through as a ghost one door, and then he slammed up like he was physically solid against the other subway car.
I mean,
Yeah.
I get what you're saying. Oh, go, Mayo, go.
Oh, you go first.
I was gonna say it's a bit hard to talk like ghost walking and not physical ability with ghosts, because if you take that questioning too far, it's a question of why was he able to stand on the train? Wouldn't he just pass through the train and go onto the tracks? I feel like it's kind of like ghosts physics. I don't know. It's just gonna be a thing where you can't
because if you analyze it quickly, how can he stand on the ground in anywhere in the world? Because literally, there's nothing. If gravity doesn't exist for him, he can't really stand on a building, let alone the ground. So it's kind of like, oh, so if he can stand on the train, he has to choose where he wants to be. Maybe.
This is the exact conversation we had last night when we were watching it. Of by the film's logic, how is he even able to get upstairs? Because he should be falling through the stairs. But I think the film maybe kind of explains it in a way when it's, if I can think of how to word it, where it's kind of like he can move what he thinks he interacts with things how he expects to be able to interact with them. So it's almost as if
he's psychosomatic.
Yeah, so he goes through the door because he doesn't quite have a good sense of getting hold of himself, but he's aware that I've gone through one carriage door, so there should be another carriage door. So he slams into it. I feel like it's still a reach, but there's I can almost follow the
yeah, I guess if it wasn't psychosomatic, then surely he'd just be in space.
Yeah,
yeah. So I guess it does work for what he's, because he has to physically concentrate to move something. So he says do you think those are do you think you're wearing those clothes? Do you think you're standing on this platform? So it's it's like Common said, this he seems to interact with the environment as he expects to interact with it, and he can control it when he's thinking about it. But yeah, if it was something that's external, then he shouldn't be on Earth.
Yeah, the whole logic of the film kind of, not the whole logic of the film, but some of the logic of the film kind of falls apart
Hmm.
Of its own kind of,
Of
of
its
its own
exes.
logic.
like a specific print.
And what I'll add in, because like when we was talking about this, because I was following it through because I've watched a lot of supernatural stuff and supernatural. Great show. Anyway,
A lot of supernatural stuff and supernatural. What are you implying there?
It's super.
Emmanuel's a ghost.
And I pay attention to a lot of kind of like
I did draw him as a ghost.
pay attention to a lot of kind of like mythology.
Hang on. Hang on, you have seen that. That's not just me like wishing death on him. Yeah.
I can't remember. I'm thinking of my character you drew me as.
Yeah.
I didn't remember it being a ghost.
It was
I
ghosty.
guess-
Hang on. It was gaseous.
No, okay. Did he have like a suit on?
I will put it in the chat.
I got really lucky.
Cool,
I
thanks.
literally just walked into a charity shop and
But yeah, so in terms of kind of ghost type logic, it does work out. But basically, kind of like you guys said, but to say it in a different way. So a lot of it, yes, all in his mind. So when he's walking on the fourth floor, or whatever the building, he still thinks he's real, like what that guy was saying. He doesn't second guess the fact that he should just be falling through the floor. He just expects it. The same when he falls on the stairs when he's going after Willie, who's like going upstairs to their bedroom and all the kind of stuff. And the key difference is that if he's trying to affect the world, he can't affect it. And from early on, that gets into his mind as well, that he can't affect it. But if he doesn't have to affect it, he can just lay on the ground, lay on the floor. He can sit in a car. He sits in Carl's car. He doesn't really think about it. He just sits in the car. And he sits the whole way to wherever it was to like the house to wherever to Willie's place and gets out. Like, but it's like he doesn't really think anything of it. And I think the difference is, like, if he actually has to move it and affect it, that requires something else compared to him just, I don't know, standing on the floor or sitting on the ground or whatever it is. He doesn't really he doesn't have to think too much about it. He just believes it and it is true. But I thought they did keep it consistent, I thought, for the most part.
I don't want to do that story where someone becomes a ghost and then they're kind of like, oh, well, I'm a ghost. And then the earth just moves away from them and they're like, oh, all right. Do they do like breaststroke?
Cool.
Or do they do like...
Yeah, I think it is. They did do a good job of just like, because once I noticed that though, like I didn't think about it. I didn't question the whole like being able to walk on the ground and stairs and all that stuff. But it just bugged me that he like flew up against the very next one when he was outside. That just didn't. It still raises a question mark in my head, but I totally agree with the whole like don't unravel it, like don't try to unravel it because it just becomes like too much. But yeah.
But that's part of the fun sometimes, you know?
Yeah, that's like my whole thing.
Plus, I like a lot of supernatural stuff anyway. I always find it interesting.
Yeah, I'm glad I was seeing this because I remember. I don't know if anyone watched Being Human, but there was like it was a little BBC TV show about like a vampire werewolf and a ghost sharing a flat, and spoiler alert: the ghost realized that she found out someone killed her. She like realized who it was, and they were going to haunt him And one of the lines was like, "What would Patrick Swayze do?" And I didn't understand that when I first saw it. I was like, "Oh, righty."
Yeah. I also like his progression of after going to the train guy to learn how to affect and move things. It's like it felt like it had a natural progression to that, which is how a lot of like mythology would kind of talk about it as well. If I don't know how many things go into detail about that part of like myths of ghosts, but they kind of go along the same kind of thing of how they have to focus in like really hard on something, and like if they're a newbie, it's gonna be much harder. And like there's a whole lot of things like in this that I thought was just kind of cool that they included in that the ghosts are kind of saying or doing. And I just like, yeah, I liked how they did that stuff in this film. That was kind of cool.
I think it's just it's good for kind of like accounting for stuff where like you do have those videos where stuff is moving like and no one's touching it, and you kind of go like, "Whoa, what the fuck is that?" And you explain that by going like, some ghosts, if they know how to, they can actually like move shit, and it's like, yeah, yeah, that just kind of makes sense to me. But like, yeah, I feel like it's not. But then you probably do get ghosts who never learn how to do it, and that's why it's not like that widespread. I feel like that's just one of those things where it's something that it's like an element of consolidating it with reality.
Mm.
And it's just kind of like, it's not, again, it's one of my favorite little things where like it's not something that's made anything of. It's just sort of there. And it's just like that's cool. It is cool that you just decide to have that in there.
Ooh. So about Demi Moore's short hair, she had long hair when she was cast, and
It's rubbish.
she didn't
Oh.
tell Jerry Zucker that she was going to cut it. So she just showed up for the first day with like this bob. And he was just like, "What?" And he's like, "Actually, I think it's actually perfect for the character." So they didn't plan for her to have short hair, but they rolled with
It's
it.
meant for you to
know
look
what?
like a
It's
14-year-old
better.
boy.
Well, that was a bold move, actually. Wow.
Yeah, very bold. Oh, apparently it was the most rented VHS tape of 1991 in America, I think.
I just regretted having my window open as I said that quite loudly. Right, stop. Oh.
Oh, really? I mean,
We
that's
got
not
some dead air.
surprising.
We got dead air. What's going on?
I don't know. But I was just continue reading trivia. For several years, Patrick Swayze had women coming up to and asking him to recite the line "Ditto" from the movie. That's just like, I mean, that happens to many actors in different
Favorite
roles, though,
scenes.
doesn't
Have
it?
we done favorite scenes already?
We have
No,
not done
haven't yet.
favourite scenes already. We can do favourite. Well, it's nearing 1 o'clock. We should probably do favourite scene. Well, go on then.
You can go
I'll
first,
go
Corey.
first.
Oh, okay. Darn it. I wish I hadn't brought it up because I was still trying to pick mine. But I
Oh,
tried
that's okay. Then just someone else
because
know
that
theirs already.
was
Um. You know what? We've been
Nope.
doing we've been doing favorite scenes, and I can tell you exactly when we started doing favorite scenes because it was my idea. We were doing favorite scenes since round. Fuck! I didn't name the rounds. We've been doing favorite scenes since round 6, which was when Pat chose Pulp Fiction, and I was like, I can't have a go at Pulp Fiction, so we're gonna have to be positive about this. And I could just see Pat looking there, just going like, and I was like, okay, we're gonna do favorite scenes. Let's do this. And from then on, it's been like a constant sort of thing. We're now on round like 32, I think, and I have still never, ever, ever come into this call with any idea of what my favourite scene is. I always decide it on the night. It's always just irritating because I never think about it. I don't know how.
I have one.
Oh, excellent! That's great.
I'll go first for once. My favorite scene. I do the same thing as you, Alec. I don't usually come in thinking about one. But,
I don't know how it's happened. I always know it's coming, and I just never think about it.
It's all right, you know. It's just improv on not on the slide. Anyway, can't think of the words. Wait, on the fly. That's it. Thank you. Like Marty McFly. She
Whoosh.
said no. Anyway, yes, whoosh. Yes, Kako whoosh. Anyway, it's a reference to a call. Was it Dan who made that sound effect?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I liked it because it went whoosh.
Oh man.
Fuck's
Anyway,
sake.
Sorry, I'm gonna mute myself.
No,
all right.
no. Anytime anyone mentions it, I just think that was Humphrey's whole. That was whole. Sorry. So the uninitiated. Humphrey chose Back to the Future one week, and we were like, "Why did you pick Back to the Future?" And the amount of times where he said, "As a kid, I really enjoyed when the car went whoosh." Like, I don't know how many times he said it, but he kept saying it, and I was like, "Was the whole thing was that it went whoosh?"
Whoosh.
You're not talking about anything else. You're just saying the car went whoosh. But, that's the meme.
Yeah, my favorite scene I think is when the whole scene when he tells her, yeah, I didn't say he was going to keep the money. What are you talking about? And because initially I was thinking before the scene, oh, he's going to say, okay, part of it's for you, part of it's for Molly, you know, like give it to her, like so, like she's all right. But I didn't really take into consideration where this money came from. He's like, no, this is blood money. You gotta get rid of this or you're dead. Like, and it's a good point. Like, if Carl didn't come after her, you bet the mob would come after her, and then she definitely would have been similar to what's the guy he references? I don't want you to end up like something. So it's a famous guy who was known for disappearing at the end of the 70s and confirmed dead in 80. Yes.
I mean, she would have ended up like her character and sister on the run from the mob.
I don't need to end
Yes.
on like Whoopi Goldberg and Sister Act. Would have been a fantastic one.
Yeah. Oh man, that would have been some real foresight. But no, so it's like you have that stuff like, okay, this is that makes a lot of sense. He's being smart. He's trying to look out for her, and it's the whole scene of her like, I don't want to give this to them. And I'm just like, and the lady's just like, oh yeah. And I find it funny because I'm thinking about it from the nun side as well. Even before she saw the amount and fainted, who I think she was either the writer or the writer's mom. I think she was the writer's mom, one of the writer's moms who played that nun. But anyway, I can imagine the nun going, "Oh man, God must be good." Like this, obviously, this lady really doesn't want to do this, but he's just talking to who she thinks is God. I don't know. Maybe he just like he's making her basically do this, and she's listening to him. thank you, Lord. Yep, I will take that money. Great, great, great. And after, like, she's like going off, blowing raspberries and everything. And she's like laughing and sees it. It's just like, I like that whole scene. It's great. Like Whoopi Goldberg's doing a great acting. Everyone's great.
I think
Mm.
I do struggle with that scene though
It did make
because
me think though. Is that the
it's
reason
so.
why he was able to?
Am I muted?
Oh, sorry.
Oh.
I mean,
No.
you lagged a bit. Sorry. What was
No, it's all right. You know what, Simon? You haven't talked a lot. You go.
No, I was gonna say. I think that scene is probably the reason why he was able to go back to heaven, because he had this chance at the beginning when he first died. The light was there, then it faded. And I think her giving the money probably be like a tithing, or like what's the phrase? Is it tithing or like a donation? Is probably the reason why he was able to get to heaven. Yeah, that's just an idea for it.
Yeah, donation. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's it. That's what I was gonna say.
I don't think maybe it was because it was a donation, because the whole idea of heaven is that it's not about, like, we're in Christianity, it's not about how rich you are, but it's kind of more like a karmic thing. Like, he did the right thing in that moment.
I mean, like, fair enough.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry. No, go on, Barry.
Oh, okay. I thought of a favorite scene finally, and it was also with Whoopi Goldberg, of course. Like, she was one of my favorite parts of this movie, and my favorite was when Sam first goes into her establishment, and he thinks that she's a fake, and then he's like, mouthing off at her, and then you see her slowly start to like realize she could actually hear somebody else in the room, and she's starting to freak out. And and then she's like latching onto that. He could realize that she could hear him, and he's like really trying to like connect and communicate and get her to repeat his name. And it continues on, like, sorry, this is technically two scenes, but when they're back at her apartment and he's like freaking out and
you can
out.
have as many scenes as you like.
No. Oh, well, does this, like, they're like back to back, so maybe I can continue on to the second one. But
you can do what you want. There's no police here. You're fine.
Okay. Yeah, it's just like when like her, like, were they her sisters? They kept on calling her sister, but I don't know if they're actually sisters.
I think they are.
But they like basically think she's like gone off her rocker and is like having some sort of breakdown, and they're like on the phone freaking out, like she's talking to like a white man in the other room, and they're like just like panicking, and it was just, that was my favorite part, is just like her learning how she actually had the gift, and she wasn't just a scammer. So yeah, that was mine.
Yeah, that's entirely fair. Yeah, don't worry. It's not just your favorite scene, and then I go, actually, that's in scene 37. No more. I've had like 4 favorite scenes sometimes. So yeah, don't feel like you're only beholden to one.
Okay.
But yeah, no, I do like that one where she actually is like, she's actually experiencing it for the first time, and she's in the middle of a con, and she's like, hang on a fucking minute. Like, I think, yeah, because like there's some bits in that scene that there's one bit that got me, was when they start refunding the Mexican lady money, and then she goes, hang on, I got it, and I was like, I feel that's a little bit too on the nose. Like, even if I was like willing to be conned, I'd be like, hang on, hold on a minute. Like, not sure about that one. But also, like, yeah, I struggled with the bank scene as well, because it's interesting actually that I've brought up Back to the Future twice this call, because my problem with Back to the Future was like, so much goes wrong. I can't believe it wound up right at the end, where in the bank scene, again, so much went wrong. I was like, I don't know if he pulled that off. I'm really not sure. I feel like he should have gone. Do not start yelling at me in the bank while we're in there, like before they went in, not while they're in there. And yeah, her like signing her own name and everything when she's like a con artist, and I'm just like, I was like, I don't know, I'm not sure. These aren't like big problems, but they are now compounding. It's just like
Yeah, to be,
you keep fucking up.
I think it kind of went along with her character though, because me and Camilla said the same thing, and then she's like, but to be honest, she's a crappy con artist. She's not.
Yeah.
Please know everything about her.
Yeah, she's not a good one. So yeah, this is why she's been caught so many times. And she's also like, even before this point, she doesn't seem to handle things in any kind of way that would make a bit more sense. She's always like a bit, but she's not really doing this in the most sensical way. So the fact that even if he thought ahead and thought to say, don't be like this, she wouldn't listen. I mean, he was just like, I'm in a mind to tell you to take off the hat. She's like, what? Like she's not someone who would listen. She does not care.
Which is something I like. I like
Yeah.
about her, because I feel like if you have a medium character, like the temptation is to have her just be someone who's repeating what Patrick Swayze's saying, and I'm glad they gave her a personality where she's not gonna do that, and she is gonna go like, "Don't you start blaspheming at me because I will fucking leave." And it's like, I thought that was quite nice. And I think that's such a easy trap to fall into, where you have someone who has to kind of like prolong the scene, but like not frustratingly. Like she does keep leaving the scene in a way where I'm like, yeah, I get why you got fucked off with that, and yeah, no, I understand. Because when she's already someone who is about to get the police called on her, and then they go like, oh, by the way, I wasn't just mugged, I was murdered, and she's like, you know what? This is the guy who we've just established lives across from me. I'm getting out of here. I'm like, yeah, I'd get out of there too. To be totally fair, like usually I find that kind of character a bit shit, but in this case, I was like, nah, I'm with you there. Like,
another moment I actually really liked in the film. I was like, this is classic New York. It's when she's yelling up to Molly, like to get her to open the door, like convince her that she is actually whatever. Like talking to Sam, and the other guy's just like, lady, stop us. Say, well, I can hear you say, shut up, I ain't talking. I'm just like, if you went to New York today, I'm sure you'd probably see that scene. Something like that actually happening.
Every single, as an Englishman who's never been to New York, every New York person has had that interaction. They've heard that interaction.
Yeah, it happens in London too.
Yeah.
I ain't talking to you.
that's not even New York specific.
Oh, but yeah, just the whole thing. I ain't talking to you. The shouting up and all the type of like characters. It was like, yeah, this is very New York. This was written well.
Yeah. Oh God, I'm so surprised at how much I like this.
I am too.
Oh yeah, I didn't notice.
I'm talking about me.
Oh. I thought you were like, you like to film. What's happened to you?
You've been better for it this year.
I'll take that.
Sorry, Emmanuel.
That's all right. I posted it in the chat, but I didn't notice that Molly was wearing the same shirt of Sam's when she went to the police station that he was wearing to see the Japanese client that day.
Oh.
It's just like, and it appeared that it was still wrinkled, like she didn't kind of wash it or iron or any kind of thing. So it wasn't one of the ones that she picked up at the dry cleaners or whatnot. It was one she just kind of left as it was. I was like, oh, that's a nice little touch. It's a really small thing. It's like, yeah, didn't notice that. And
Good spot. You are on it. You're on it today.
I know it's like like some trivia. I didn't notice that, but it's quite.
Don't spoil it, Manuel. You could have said that.
I was just going to say, you lot spot things that I never even contemplate looking for.
That was a fantastic.
It's good. Yeah.
I'm not gonna try and pretend. It's like,
You
I
guys
miss many
spot
things all the
that-
time.
You guys spot things I never think to look.
Camilla is the one that spots many things. She's eagle-eyed.
Oh, I see. You're cheating. That's why you sound annoying.
So what you're saying is Alec is getting all his information from Eb as well, because obviously the woman is more intuitive than the bloke.
I mean, yeah, I could have told you that.
That's it.
And that's
Nothing.
why I never noticed anything.
This is all Ed, by the way. I don't actually do anything. I just
Yeah, it
Oh,
makes
yeah,
sense.
she syncs all these films.
You-
All the
you know what?
intros to the floor.
you know. I was just talking to her and I said Emmanuel actually came out with a very solid point. I said this, Demi Moore goes to the police and starts talking about ghosts and mediums, sort of going, I got an anonymous tip, very silly. And she said, fear and panic is not known to create rational thought. And I was like, yeah, but she's had a day and she's been talked into going to the police, and I feel like she's had enough time to go, if I want something to be done about this, I need to not sound like a mental. And she said, I will remind you of this the next time you do something. I was like, yeah. That is a good point. She knows me. I'm really excited for our week, by the way, because it's gonna be a shit film.
Oh,
There's someone like, really?
Well,
No.
I mean,
No, don't do it, Ben. Don't do it.
my favourite scene. Oh fuck! I had it in my head a second ago. Don't get old, fucking hell. Literally gone. Keep going. I'll come back to it when I remember it.
Alright,
Who needs to do their favourite scene?
favorite
Right.
scene when is when we go back to Okome's place and she's surrounded by all the ghosts and she has to deal with a bunch of clients now because she's got actual spiritual powers. Then Orlando is what I want to say his name is, possesses her body.
Orlando.
And she's like, baby, what did you do with your hair? And afterwards she was like, oh, do you like it? It's autumn sunrise. And it was just like, that's I just don't, so I feel like it's something like the person's dead and like the first thing you talk about is your hair, and it's just like I mean like what
Yeah.
what's the point of you
It's
doing
what
this?
Camilla said.
Word for word advice.
And it was like, what's the point of you doing the spiritual? I was like, oh wait, no, she needs to do the insurance stuff. But the first thing she talks about is her hair. That's like, okay, odd choice. But it's like, it's also a favorite scene because it goes straight onto the scene with her meeting Willie, and Willie going, goes, so what can you tell about me? And afterwards, you have Sam going, that's Willie. It's like, wait, you're Willie? And it's like, I don't know if she didn't reveal her hand so fast, like, to say his name. If she if she kept her mouth shut for just like a couple seconds more and says, I don't know who you are, or maybe we can get into it.
Yeah.
Maybe she wouldn't have like tipped him off that, oh wait, I know you're the person who killed Sam and is probably here to kill me. Yeah, I'm gonna like, have to escape. If she didn't reveal that, maybe it would have been more. She could have like made a convincing lie, but it's like, at times of panic and just seeing her go, oh, you're the killer. Oh, you're the killer. Okay, let's just run. It's just like, it's just one of those. It's just one of those things you go, that could have played very differently if she had just a little bit more patience for it. But I was like, no, but it makes sense because of what happened.
I'm glad you brought this one up, Simon, because this is probably actually one of my least favourite scenes in the whole film.
Which one? Which part?
It's when that just that whole thing. That was when I was really like, oh man, Sam's character's taken some damage there, because we've had like the whole thing of Sam tailed Carl and found him going to Willie's place and everything. They have the conversation, and he's like, I need you to kill that